Hey, there's Dustin Dar and welcome back. And in this video, I'm going to share with you a very powerful concept that literally changed everything for me in my sales career and later on in my career as a VP of sales of the company. This guiding principle literally was the foundation upon which I was able to grow my sales dramatically in both capacities. Now I'm going to share with you a story about how I learned this concept. So early on in my sales career, I struggled. I really struggled hard. In fact, I struggled so bad in sales that I almost quit. And in fact, I made the decision to quit. And so I'm going to make a really long story really short for you. So I made the decision to quit because I was struggling so bad and I was embarrassed. And my sales were struggling. I couldn't handle the pressure. And so I made the decision to quit, but I didn't have the courage to tell my fiance at the time. I didn't have the courage to tell my sales manager at the time and the owners of the business, the printing business that I was working for at the time. But right at this time that I'd made the decision internally to quit, I got a phone call from my doctor. And the doctor said, come down to my office as soon as you possibly can. And when your doctor says something like that, you know that it's not something good. And so I went down to the office, sat down on the table, and the doctor comes in with a somber look on his face. And he says, Dustin, you know those 2 moles that we took off your back the other, a few weeks ago or a week or so ago? Well, one of them is melanoma. And I was just a young guy at the time. I didn't know what melanoma was. I said, okay, well, that's okay. What's melanoma? And he said, well, melanoma is an extremely serious form of skin cancer, and if you don't catch it early, it can be extremely deadly. And so for the next 6 weeks, maybe 2 months of my life, I literally stared death in the face. And if you've ever been in one of those situations, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you've had a loved one that's been through there, it's not a pleasant time. It's a very scary time, and it's a very reflective time. And so during that time of 2 months, where I was literally staring death in the face and contemplating my own mortality, if I was going to be around on the planet very much longer or not, something happened inside of me. And I started to think about all aspects of my life, but I thought about my sales career. I thought about how I was thinking about quitting and how I made the decision to quit, but I didn't have the courage to tell people. And during that moment, I made a decision to stay in sales. And I made a decision to be successful in sales. I made the commitment within inside of me to become a sales master. That if I was going to be able to have my life and not die, basically, if I was going to be able to have my life, then I was going to make sure that I didn't regret it. And that I was going to master sales, and I was going to be one of the best salespeople that I possibly could be. And you know what? Things turned out. I'm still here. I'm grateful to be here. Many, many years later, I'm here with you on this video, and I made it through. And I consider myself extremely lucky because I know several people that had the same diagnosis that I did, and they weren't able to make it through. One lady that was extremely close to me was one of my account managers in the business. An extremely amazing lady, and she had melanoma and she didn't make it. But anyways, during that moment of darkness, I made the commitment to stay in sales, to master sales. And after the diagnosis was clear, after everything was good, I went through another surgery and everything checked out. I decided to master sales, and so I started to go to every sales seminar. I listened to every audio program I could. I went to every sales conference I could. I went and got a sales degree from the university, which is a rare degree. Most universities don't have those. I sought it out and I got the degree in sales. And hired the best sales coaches, consultants that I could always find. And I went through this process of becoming a sales master. And it took me many, many years, but soon after this whole experience of recommitting myself to sales, I was listening to an audio program by one of my now mentors, one of my now really good friends, an amazing man, amazing gentleman named Brian Tracy. You've probably heard him before. He has a program that he made probably back in the 80s called The Psychology of Sales Success. And I was driving in my truck going to an appointment, and I was listening to the program, and he said something that rocked my world. He said something that just hit me like a ton of bricks. It hit me, and my eyes of understanding opened. He said this. He said, sales success is based upon law. Okay? Sales success is based upon law. And it hit me. I said, then the only thing that I need to do is figure out what the laws of sales success are, and I will be successful. And that gave me direction, because I knew that there was a law, that there was a science of sales success, basically a formula of sales success, and if I could find that out and learn it and implement it, I will have sales success. And that's exactly what happened. And so over many, many years, much investment, we're talking much investment of time, energy, and a lot of money in many different programs, what came to me was the laws of sales success. And what these are, and what you're going to learn in the program, is called the 10 metrics of sales success. These laws, or these metrics of sales success, are the roadmap or the formula to sales success. Okay? And so I'll go through every one of these very, very briefly here. I'm just going to put this on the board. Okay? And so, again, sales success is based upon law. If you have the laws, if you have the formula, if you have the metrics, and all you got to do is learn what works good and then implement them into your sales process, you will have success. Well, first of all, it starts with these 4 principles here around the 10 metrics of sales success. You probably can't read them up there, but it starts with commitment. You have to be committed to your sales success. You have to be committed to your craft. You have to be committed to becoming a master and doing whatever it takes, and then you'll become successful. And then you mix that with gaining knowledge, and you mix that with really hard work, doing the work day in and day out, and you add in a dash of boldness. And that is your foundation to sales success. And then you have the 10 metrics of sales success. Every one of these tabs right here represents one of the metrics. Okay? It all starts with strategic planning. It all starts with the plan. It all starts with looking at your marketplace, organizing it, and having the strategic plan that sets you on your foundation of sales success. Then it goes to mind power. If you're not right up here, you're not going to have sales success. Then it goes on to prospecting and lead generation. Then it goes to converting your prospects into clients. Then it goes into follow-up. Okay, we all know that the fortune of sales is in follow-up. Then it goes into loyalty. Then it goes into authority positioning. How are you positioned? How is your company positioned in the marketplace or in the social dynamics ladder to make everything that you do much more powerful? I got some more stories about that and how powerful this principle truly is. Then you go to increasing your client size. Listen, 20% of your clients are producing 80% of your revenue. That holds true with the vast majority of businesses. How can you replicate those 20% of clients to get them to be higher? You can dramatically increase your sales there. Then you go to referrals. Okay, referrals are king. What's your referral plan? Probably don't have one. If you don't have one, you're leaving money on the table. Then you go to maximization. Basically, how to become more productive as a person, how to become the most productive salesperson ever. We're going to be covering every one of these metrics in depth in following videos. So what the main point of this video is the plan, is the law, is the formula. The vast majority of sales reps, the vast majority of businesses, they don't have their law. They don't have their plan. They don't have their formula of sales success. They basically say, go out there and get them, Tiger. And that's the end of it. If you don't have a plan, you're going to fail. Okay? The great Benjamin Franklin, one of the wisest men to ever live, has a quote. And it's right here. Okay? It says this. This is what I want to leave you with this video. This is what I want to drive home. Is if you fail to plan, You plan to fail. That's how it is, my friends. 90% of sales reps and businesses don't have a plan. And if you don't have a plan, you're going to fail miserably on your goals of dramatically increasing your sales. Remember, sales success is based upon law. And what you're going to be learning in this program, what you're going to be learning in Printing Profits, is the plan. What you're going to be learning are the formulas and the metrics of sales success, the roadmap for you to dramatically increase your sales.